Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Brian and Jim here with Drink a Beer and Play a Game, and welcome to another episode of the Power Hour.
Yes, how are you doing, everybody? Welcome to 100... Wow, skipped right ahead. Welcome to episode 138. I'm sorry, I can't help it. I'm excited tonight. Brian, we're wearing the same shirt.
I know, and we're drinking the same thing.
Yes, we are. So, actually...
this time, Jim.
Yes. So, actually, what do you call it? Tonight's a special night because... we don't get sent stuff too often to the page, but when we do, we like to make a big deal out of it. So we actually were sent a bottle of Cocalero X Resident Evil Infinite Darkness. So this is a South American herbal liqueur, as you can see right there. So it's 29%. So it's a little bit on the mid to weaker side for the alcohol. Actually, we'll get to our first impression in a second, but... yeah, we actually, we are known to be huge fans of Resident Evil, as anyone who follows the page knows. So, yeah, our good, awesome buddy Michelle told us about this promotion that was going on. So she reached us out to the PR firm that's working with Cocalero and was like, hey, these guys love Resident Evil, and they love booze. You should probably talk to them. So, yeah, sent us this awesome bottle. Sent us these very cool shot glasses.
Yeah, these things are freaking awesome.
Yeah, which you can use to make Coca Bombs. So it looks like in the picture, it looks like it's like, I guess it's maybe Red Bull at the bottom, or whatever the hell you want to mix at the bottom with it. In the top, you can have the Cocalero sitting in there. So it's a very cool shot glass. And we got shirts!
We did. Let's give the camera. Very, very cool shirt.
Yep. I don't typically do an XL, but luckily it's black. Still looks pretty good on me.
I mentioned to Jim, the XL's a little swimming on me.
One man's swimming's, another man's a little firm grip, one could say.
But no, we really, really appreciate it. We actually did decide, Jim and I got together doing a few reviews and said, let's get a real-time, while we're there together, reaction. So I'm going to cut to that right now. You can see our first sip of the Cocalero. All right, guys, so here we are trying out the Cocalero Resident Evil Infinite Darkness. This is our very first time sipping and trying it out. I can't pinpoint the aroma. It's like
it's minty.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's like some kind of mint. Is it like a licorice almost? Have you ever had what's the shit called? The green fairy. What the fuck is it called? You know, stuff's supposed to make you hallucinate from Europe.
Oh, absinthe.
Have you ever had that without the psychedelic shit?
No.
So I have some upstairs. It kind of reminds me, smell-wise, of that.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right, well, down the hatch.
It's really light, really smooth. Not burning at all.
No, there's no burn to it at all.
There is a little bit of a licorice flavor. Yeah, it's licorice and like Jim said, kind of minty. It's good.
Yeah, it's like black licorice and mint mixed together.
And I hate licorice, and this has the right sweetness to overcome whatever black licorice flavor is. But yeah, it's funny, on the packaging it says, drink cold, which I think most people prefer cold.
Yeah, they say drink it ice cold with your favorite mixer, but we ain't no punk bitches. So, of course, we had to take it pure. So
for our initial try, now, by the time we do our podcast, we might be mixing it with stuff. I don't know what I would mix it. Maybe like a Sprite would be interesting.
Sprite would be good.
I'm trying to think, what else would I really mix this with?
Brian, do you have any pucka? Need some pucka?
Jim, that is a mixer.
Some green pucka with your Cocalero? But no, actually...
no, I definitely... like I said, this is a very nice... you could go out, have a cocktail or two, depending on mixers. Maybe by the time we do...
I let it sit on my tongue for a second, and I got, the effervescence coming through. I got the vapors.
Yeah. For sure, licorice is the thing I'm picking up the most so. But like I said, it's not... if you hate things like Sambuca, then you could probably still deal with this.
Shut up, dog!
Loki! Upstairs. No, this is pretty good, though. Like I said, it doesn't burn going down.
No.
I feel it warming my chest.
It's very smooth. Maybe the green color is where the Resident Evil comes in, or just...
Hey, it's an awesome box, and I know you're going to show it more, but...
yeah.
It's... no, we thank you guys again. This is really enjoyable stuff.
Yeah, thank you.
Hopefully they actually sell it at our. Well, we're in PA, so
We shall see.
we will. All right, back to the podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah, we like it. It's, to be honest, we're much better with beer flavors. We both obviously picked up a ton of mint. It's very botanical. It's like a gin in the terms of like how there's just something very strong there. And I looked up a few different ways you can make cocktails with it. Unfortunately, we're not as well stocked as, let's say, our buddy Michelle. I have some bitters and a few other mixers, but I decided tonight to try mixing it with one of my favorite combos that I do a gin. Simple. Sprite and a lime. I think you can kind of see a lime here. And it is really delicious. It is a nice substitute, and that's what I noticed is a lot of people said Cocalero is a good substitute for gin. So maybe if you make a martini or like I do, or I think the most common cocktail is called like a Bloodworm Warrior or something. But it looks really cool. That's the thing I will say. I love the look of the liqueur. There's just too much light going on. It's a very bright green. So it's very, very cool looking.
Yep, for sure. Here, you can right out of the bottle right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, like, Brian and I didn't plan this, but I'm doing Sprite as well. But since I like to watch my calories like a little bitch,
Oh my God!
I'm using
Jim.
Sprite Zero, and it's still tasty with it. So even if you go with the slightly flatter type of experience you can get with the diet soda, it still turns out good.
Jim, that's why you're never the A+.
Look, Brian, we're just covering all of our bases here tonight, all right? And yeah, like I know in Michelle's video, she was talking about like all the citrus and stuff like that she tasted through it. Like I said, we don't have that refined palate, Keystone White Flag. So, we can do what we can, but we likes what we likes, and this is pretty good. And we're not just saying that because you got it for free, though it does help.
Now, we've made the mistake on things sent to us, giving our honest opinion. We didn't say anything bad. We just said our true feelings. So
we cushioned a blow.
we definitely cushioned the blow.
We were still honest, but
I think it was still appreciated.
Yeah, no, exactly. We like, if you send us something, we're going to give you your honest opinion. We're not going to trash you because we'll never trash anything that's sent to us.
We're never going to be assholes, but we're never going to be everyone who gets sent stuff and say, "Hey, automatic 10 out of 10." I will say I do really like this. This is a good. I would see myself picking this up because I could see myself, especially like I'd love to have this in the summer.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it's definitely much more of a summer feel to it for me. A few of these cocktails while you're swimming in a pool or something, like I would love to have that. So
yeah, like it's definitely on the lighter side, and like it's good. It's like it's a pick me up. It's like perky.
Yeah. Damn it, Jim.
What?
Just the way you said that threw me off. Perky. But this is pretty cool. I mean, I've seen a lot of liquor collaborations with celebrities, bands. I haven't seen many for shows. So that's and maybe that we're just not in that world enough to know.
Yeah.
If that happens, but you and I talked. Did you actually watch that show yet?
I didn't even know it existed until we got this little thing set up. I gotta be honest.
You probably still haven't watched Castlevania yet either.
I have not watched Castlevania yet. Still need to do that. I know it's only like 8 episodes.
Oh,
I'm the worst.
Jim. What do you watch when you play your terrible games on Switch?
I mean, if anything's on TV during that, like, either it's something the wife is watching or something the kid's watching, and I'm just concentrating on the Switch.
Oh, James.
And then when the kid goes to bed, like, we're so tired, we're like, I don't want to get invested in anything, so we watch something dumb for an hour and then go to bed.
I really liked, I don't want to say really liked. I liked the Resident Evil Infinite Darkness. It was interesting. Very, I guess that's what a lot of anime style, like that felt just like Castlevania, and maybe the same people made it, but it felt like in the same tone, the same kind of humor, the action and stuff. Like, I don't know, something about the way that style is drawn, and I don't know what it's classified as, it just never catches me. It always throws me off and takes.
But isn't
it
it CG? Isn't the Infinite Darkness CG?
Oh my God, you're right. I'm completely thinking of something else. Yes, it is CG. I was wrong. That looked much better. I, for some reason, was thinking Castlevania. I thought they did make a Resident Evil animated movie, and that's what
Oh.
I was thinking of.
Yeah.
That was like that. So
I also did not watch and or know of that.
I'm gonna blame it on the booze and say that's what it is.
Aha! My few minutes of research did me well tonight.
Ha 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 ha.
God
Man,
damn
I
it,
could
Brian.
have just rambled on. Wait a second.
I should have let it happen.
Of
I should have just
all
sat here
the
confused the whole time.
Of all the times, Jim, you have completely screwed up, said something wrong, published post of the wrong beer, or talked about the wrong game. Don't you dare for
Wrong
this
beer.
one time.
Wrong game. What?
You've done that a few times.
What?
Jim, we're talking
No.
about this beer. Do the review. Hey, Jim, do you realize you wrote up a review for a completely different beer?
Oh, that was like 6 years ago. That version of the website's long since gone, and I will say that it never happened. So, you try and prove it.
I can. Don't make me. It's called Wayback Machine. Check up anything on the internet.
Nah, whatever. I don't give a shit.
But no, once again, really appreciate it. And who was our contact again?
Megan.
Thank you, Megan. Cheers. Appreciate it. If you're ever around Philly, maybe we'll drink some Cocalero together.
Oh, yeah, for sure. This shit is good.
All right, Chambers. So
Tomorrow I'll see what the Hangover and report back is like.
I don't imagine.
Probably not that much. It's not a heavy alcohol.
It's not strong, and if it is like gin, I mean, we've talked about before. I don't feel shit from gin the next day. I would have to drink an absurd amount.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had enough gin to have a hangover from it.
Yeah. Now, Jim, while we're enjoying this, why don't you let us know what have you been able to play this past week?
Well, doing more. Well, I mean, we'll get to it when we get to the review, but playing more of the Alien games, finishing them off. I finished that Super Star Path game that I talked about last week. Fun game. I'm working on another DIA games that I've been meaning to get to called Bot Vice. So basically, think like Wild Guns, something along those lines, like a gallery shooter, moving left to right kind of deal. And the main gimmick of it is like as you go, you get ranked as you go from level to level. And, you know, you obviously, the better you do, it's almost like a accumulating time limit. So, because, like, you have, like, give or take a half hour to get to the last boss in order to fight him in time for the story. So, like, I'm actually up to him, but I'm actually, like, 13 seconds over the time limit that I need to have. So I need to go back to a couple levels and do better scores in them. A bunch of levels that I barely scraped by. And, like, do better so I can get that time limit down to, like, a perfect 0 so I can actually fight the last boss. So it's a cool little gimmick they have going on there.
Okay. That's an interesting concept of they're not making it harder, they just want you to play better.
Yeah.
Okay. But you said it's a shooting gallery, and I assume you're using the Switch?
Yeah.
How is the control in terms of moving the cursor or shoot or whatever you want to call it around?
See, that's fine because it has a button for, like, you're either shooting straight ahead or you can hold a button to, like, lock onto the closest guy to you. That's not the problem. The only problem I have to control is the layout's goofy and they don't let you change it. So, like, it almost seems like it was made more for, like, almost an arcade stick in mind. I think that would have worked a lot better. But I don't have one for the Switch, so I'm out of luck there. So, like, you get used to it, but it is a little bit goofy. It took me a little while to get used to. Mainly because, like you can... Like, the dodging is such an important button, and it makes you invulnerable as you dodge.
Yeah.
But it's the A button, and you're shooting with the Y and X buttons. So instead, like, I instinctively want to just hit B because it's right there. It's right at the bottom, right next to it. So, like, it almost feels unnatural trying to go over this way to hit that thing, and I will misclick sometimes or just miss a dodge. So that's a little annoying. But I eventually get used to it.
And what's the company called?
DYA Games.
And how did you hear about them?
Our buddy, Arabia Fad, well, his name's John, but at Arabia Fads on Twitter, he told me about it. He was like, hey, this is, he was like, yeah, last year, like, they had a sale on the game, so they were all, like, 90% off. So he's like, hey, this little indie dev's really good. Everyone should get these games while they're, like, $1 or $2. I was like, all right. So I bought, like, all 4 games that were available then. They have one more out now, too, so... I eventually want to start a series where I think you could do it too, obviously, with your love of Papa Combo, where, like, I just do one video going through, like, all the games of, like, an indie developer. So, like, they have, like, 5 games. Like, I can blast through a video in that, like, 15-minute video, something like that, at the most.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, and, the smaller indie games, they make it easier to do that, too, so.
Yeah, I'm looking at them right now, It's interesting. I don't know how I would think you would do with that Evil Tonight game.
Yeah,
Since that looks kind of like JRPG and survival horror-ish.
Yeah, I think they're supposed to be. Yeah, their last two games are the ones I'm probably looking forward to the least. Vivette and Evil Tonight, because they both look like very story heavy, like, adventure-y games. So I'm like, fuck, this is not my wheelhouse. But I mean, I hear Vivette only takes like 3.5 hours to beat, which is fine. So at least it's not super long.
We really need to get down to why you hate story so much. I know it. I accept it. I just don't understand. Like, why do you hate good storytelling so much?
It's not even that I hate it. I just don't want to sit through it. Like, no, I'm impatient. Just let me get to the gameplay. Like,
so there's no part of you when you're playing a game you don't want at all to like connect to a character or like care about what's happening to them.
No, don't want to get to the game. Like, I'll sit through it maybe the first time, but then
Yeah.
after that, just like skip. And then
Well,
even if
of
like,
course, yeah.
and
But
even if I'm
saying,
getting like into it, like I have to, like you have to hook me early, basically. Like if you don't hook me early with the story, I'm not gonna care. So like if you don't hook me early on in the first couple cutscenes or whatever, like I'm just gonna skip the story after that.
so okay, going back to like one of our favorite games, Resident Evil. Did
Right.
you ever, even on the first playthrough, like when you would collect documents and shit, would you read about like what's going on in the mansion?
Yeah.
And like, yeah, nowadays you skip through it. But like, were you caring? Like, oh man, what's actually going on with these characters?
Oh no, back then, like I got like if you suck me into the lore, like I can get sucked in. Like I got sucked in with Fallout and all that stuff, and like I would sit through all the dialogue cheese with that. I don't know. It just really depends on the story. I don't know. And like JRPGs, like they just never did it for me.
Is it the style of the game itself that you can't get into the story?
Maybe that doesn't help. I mean, I don't know. Because like the only JRPG I've really ever finished was Final Fantasy 1, and that's obviously the weakest on story of all of them. So like after a while it's just like fuck, I just want to get back to fucking trying to play the game. Like, okay, I get it. We're trying to save the world from the evil demigod again. Blah 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 blah. Four forces of the elements. Blah 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 blah. Time travel. Blah 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 blah. Whatever.
But it's funny because one of the things you mentioned about what you love about Shadowrun so much is the story.
Yeah, I mean,
Like-
I think it's also like a thing where like that just hooked me at the right time too.
Gotcha.
Like I'm just too impatient at this point in my life where I have such a backlog. I have so much shit to do besides doing stuff for the page. Like if I'm doing a game for the page, like I'm gonna sit through the story and try to get the whole fucking the whole experience in for it. But if I'm just playing something on my own, I'm just like, all right, let's go. Like if it's starting to wear a little thin on me.
You're not a big sit down and binge movie or TV series guy, are you?
No.
You don't. You actually don't. Like I feel like you.
Last time I binged something was probably Breaking Bad.
I was gonna say,
So-
like, you never were a guy that really watched shows. I feel like that had a consistent story.
Yeah, I mean, what do you call it? Like I liked Mr. Robot. Well, the second season I kind of dropped off with. Like I stuck through. The second season was so fucking slow and boring though. So like I know that picked up at the end, but like I was like 8 episodes and I'm just like, all right, nothing's happening. Better Call Saul. I think I dropped out in like the 4th season, but I was keeping up with that for a while. I actually got to get back to that and finish that off.
Yeah.
But yeah, besides that, I haven't watched a lot of series shows.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like you said, there's something, and like you said, to each his own. Everyone likes it. I'm always curious why you don't seem to be able to connect with this shit. But yet, like that's something I like, and yet you and I do like so many of the same games so much. It's very interesting, like how that's so different, though. Like
Yeah,
like,
I mean, even 10 years ago, I had a phase where I was deep in RPGs.
Yeah.
Maybe just like in that. Maybe it's a thing where it's like also how it was with like achievement hunting for me. Where like I went really hard in the dirt for like 2 years and then I completely burnt myself out and I have no interest in it. So like when I had my RPG phase, like I was really hard in the dirt for like 2-3 years. Played nothing but them, got like, dumped 80 hours into a bunch of games straight, and then I burn out on. I'm like, all right, I don't care about story. Like I just
done.
give me something to play. Yeah.
It's funny you say that, and I was asking so much because this past week I've gotten fully hooked into. Do you ever hear the game is called A Plague's Tale: Innocence?
No.
So it was a huge success. I don't know if it was an indie developer, but I think came out in 2019, and it's available on Xbox Game Pass, and it's been there for a while. It's one I've had in my queue for like ever. I knew nothing about this game, and I even decided, I was like, I just heard it was really good. And I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to look at the trailer. I'm just going to open it up. It's in my catalog. Let me start it. And right off the bat, I realized, oh, this is going to be a story game. And that really, like, was like, am I going to do this? And kind of like you said, I got hooked pretty quickly, and I really liked the gameplay. You're basically in, like, France in the late 1300s during the plague.
Oh.
And you're this girl who's got to protect her brother and like get him through. And it's like a survival horror with major. It's more of a, like, I would almost consider a puzzle game, because you got to like use certain things to, like, she has a sling, so you got to use it to unlock a door in a distance, and you can't, if you are in light, rats can't get you, so you got to move from space to space. I didn't think this would be a game that hooked me. I'm one stage away from beating it, apparently.
Oh, nice.
And so I've been dedicated. I've loved it. And the story is what's got me. And maybe I gotten soft with having kids, but like the thing of like having the sister protect the brother, and they got to get through. Like, it's just, there is a really, it's like really well acted too, maybe. But that's a game where I would say, I would love to see you try to get through like the first 2 levels and see if it does anything for you.
That does sound interesting, because I've actually
heavy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with puzzle heavy. Well, yeah. But what do you call it? Like, no, like the whole plague era. Like, I've watched like fucking like 50 YouTube documentaries in the past like 6 months on that like era. So
then I think you would, and that's one of those things where I can't help myself. I say I'm not going to do it, but this is one of those games where as you go around, you can find little knickknacks, trinkets, whatever, but it could be something like a plague mask from a doctor, and it gives you a little history on it, or like what, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to spend my time and try and search every level, and then I end up doing it every time. Like, god damn it, because I do want to, like, it makes me want to explore, because it's also graphically and soundtrack, it's kind of like that that game I was telling you about, the Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, or Senua's whatever, where it's, to me, one of the best soundtracks, because it is so perfectly moody, and it's also just really, really well done. And it's like haunting in spots, so I would love to see you try like 2 levels and report back. See, is that something that could hook you?
all right, no, I'll give that a shot. That sounds interesting, actually.
And you know what? This is another thing I gotta say. I really gotta give a shout out to Game Pass, because they kill it with how many good games they have available.
As of today, they just added another 75 games to backwards compatibility.
Did they? Nice.
Yeah, we're recording this on the 15th. So yeah, and like Xbox had a thing for their 20th anniversary. So yeah, like they put another 75 games on backwards compatibility. They did like 30 games where like you got like a performance upgrade on them. Nice. And like a shitload of Sonic games run like just a smooth 60 FPS now, and they look like awesome. All kinds of crap like that. And like Halo Infinite, the multiplayer is available now. So, like, that's the story isn't officially, but yeah, you can play the multiplayer now. So,
you know what? Even though they don't win, I still say Xbox has always done the best customer service and the best by their fans.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they didn't buy a launch 360, then yeah.
Even, I mean, putting the hardware aside, I'm saying I think they.
Like, no, I think their services have always been the best.
Yeah, they're pretty amazing. But that also, what's interesting is, as I'm hearing you talk about games you like, don't like, whatever, is there a genre now you absolutely, like, it would take almost a miracle for you to pick up and try at this point?
Probably JRPGs.
That's the main one? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like, if a patron makes us play a JRPG, then of course I'll play it. But like,
yeah, putting those aside, I'm saying, like, you by yourself, like, has there ever been a point where you're like, you know what? I do want to go back and play Chrono Trigger or any of the, like, have you ever?
I tried playing Chrono Trigger like a year and a half ago, and I made it like 2 hours in, and I was like, I'm bored. And then I died without hitting like a save spot, or I missed a save spot, and I lost all my progress. I'm like, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
So I never went back.
It's funny. I feel that way about 2 genres I used to play all the time. Like, for whatever reason, I can't get back into racing games or any new wrestling game. And those were 2 of my biggest genres I played the shit out of. And now I really can't. Like, If it's available for free on Xbox, I try whatever the latest wrestling one is, and
They've all been bad though. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't really blame me with the wrestling games.
And racing, I know they look way more amazing, but it's like for whatever reason, I just can't get back into that thing. And it's like, yeah, those are for right now for sure done for me.
I'm hearing nothing but praise for fucking Forza 5 right now.
Oh, dude, Forza
Apparently that is amazing. Like I haven't played I'm like you. I played a shitload of racing games as a kid, and I haven't touched a racing game in ages. Like I think the last one I really played a lot was that Horizon Chase Turbo. But it's another indie game, but it was really well made. But yeah, like as far as like a AAA racing game goes, fucking over a decade probably.
Yeah, Forza is one of those AAA comes out, you're just getting quality. It's not even a question. Like you can boot it up and be like, I know I'm gonna have an amazing time. But yeah, it's sad. Like I wanna at some point like find one that gets me hooked again. But yeah, for whatever reason, it just the idea of it, I'm like, oh, then I'm gonna have to customize each car. Like, I don't know. It just seems
gotta
like
lock
too
all
much.
these cars, redo races. Yep.
Yeah. So, that's your homework, Jim. At some point, you got to try at least 2 levels of A Plague Tale because I really want to see if that's enough. Especially if you're interested in the history aspect, I think you might appreciate it.
All right, no, I'll give that a go. Might be the right time for me to hit a Plague focus game.
I might also say that it's a game that is very for a majority you have a companion, but they fucking nailed it as to not having an annoying companion. Like it works, and you'll see why. I don't want to give too much away, but it works. So
cool. All right, I'll give that a go.
No, but speaking of reasons why we would play any games, what questions do we have from our awesome patrons this week?
Patreon.com/DrinkABeerandPlayAGame, where for as little as $2 a month, you can ask a question we will answer in each and every single one of these Power Hour podcasts. First up, from Game Whisperer Dean. Which video game developer or publisher had the best arcade game music in the 80s and 90s?
Ooh, only going arcade.
Hubba wubba wubba.
I mean,
just say Konami?
Well, I was gonna say I would say Capcom or Konami.
Those were gonna be my choices, basically.
I think back, and there were other good ones.
Like Data East made a lot of good games, but like I couldn't really tell you a lot of the soundtracks.
Like when it comes to my immediate brain, yeah, it's just Capcom. I may, even though I prefer Konami games, I think I kind of have to go Capcom
for the music.
Like, yeah, they knocked it out of the park. But shit, that is actually really tough. I think Konami does better soundtracks for consoles. I think Capcom did better for arcade.
And it's a tough one though, because like a lot of like the really good soundtrack games are also kind of like ports too. Like a lot of the shooters were a lot of ports. The Turtles games were basically ports for the most part. Well, that's half and half, kind of half and half.
Let's put it this way: this is not a A-B situation. They're both A's. It's kind of like I would accept either answer, but I would say those two. I'm trying to think though. Is there like a glaring one we're both missing? That would be like
probably. I mean, someone out there is gonna be screaming like Neo Geo right now. So, like SNK, which I mean, I honestly don't have enough experience with SNK to tell you. So.
Yeah, I can only pick from shit. So, yeah, those two would be my answer. I want to say Capcom, but honestly, I keep thinking of other Konami games, and I go, shit. So, yeah, those two.
I mean, is Namco a dark horse because of Soul Calibur? Could also say that, too.
It is good, but, I mean, honestly, I'm going to say Street Fighter's better.
For soundtrack. Right, fair enough.
So, yeah. But
yeah, I mean, nothing in Tekken or Soul Calibur I say it is as iconic as any of the songs in Street Fighter.
No, they're they're well composed, like good different ones. But yeah, they never hit like a fresh Guile or Ken.
It's true. So that's a tough one. Fuck, I don't know if I'm going to go Konami or Capcom.
Jim, go Taito.
Taito. Could I Rastan? I think Rastan was Taito. That's a decent soundtrack. Yeah, let's get Taito.
Wait, who made fuck, what was that game? Oh my god. I can't even think. My mind is completely blown right now. There was a game that I love the soundtrack to, and it wasn't a popular arcade cabinet.
That's not helping.
No, I know. I think it would be very tough to argue against Konami or Capcom. Even if that is, as Jim would call it, the normie answers.
Yeah, toss a coin.
Yeah.
Toss a coin and call it for those two, I'd say.
That's a good question. Hey, Jim, maybe we should make a... Maybe I should make a 6-pack, or we should make a top 10 on best arcade songs.
Ooh.
Because every time we make top 10s and we actually rank them...
Yeah, I know, right?
It always turns out great. They're like, how dare you...
People love our choices.
Jim, can I say that was also a good reason? It was a way to get easier 6-packs out of me, and I don't want to rank them because I don't want to hear the bitching.
Oh, that is for goddamn sure.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean you don't have baseball stars at your number one baseball game?
Yeah, it was the best simulator ever. But could you... What I want to answer every time I see that is, I don't remember in Baseball Stars when you can hit somebody into the outfield with your line drive.
Ooh, this is going down down fast. But yes, I agree with that. Next up, from Michael Soto. With the new Guardians of the Galaxy being a hit, what Marvel license would you like to see them try and tackle next? Bring back X-Men Legends. Make a good X-Men game.
Jim, at this point, though, would you want them to bring it back, or do you just want them to update the graphics and re-release it? That's a game where I almost say it would be tough. I would want that top-down style was done so well. It would be kind of odd, like a team-based, really well third-person view might be too much. Like the Avengers Ultimate Alliance or Marvel's Ultimate Alliance was the kind of the reboot or reimagining with more characters, and I still love the shit out of that game. I would like to see an upgraded version of that.
Well, they kind of did a bad job doing an HD port of it a couple years ago.
Well, no, they did that shit-ass Switch one.
No, that was 3.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That
was like the straight sequel. So yeah, they did try and do it. I don't even know if it's shit. It just kind of got like reviews. I would actually pick it up, but it's still like $50.
Yeah, but hon, let's think. What's a franchise that really hasn't been? Has there ever been a Ghost Rider game?
Yeah, back when the movie came out.
Was there a Daredevil game?
Yeah. I think there was one when the movie came out.
Did you see the show Daredevil? And please tell me yes.
No.
Damn it, Jim. Why not?
Because I haven't seen any shows. Like, I heard Daredevil was good. I heard Punisher was good.
Daredevil and Punisher were good. Did you ever like Iron Fist or Luke Cage or any of that shit?
As characters, I do, but I didn't watch that either.
Okay. You might appreciate it more. I didn't like those, but when they did the Defenders with like all of them, that was pretty cool. Looking now, yeah, there was one video game on the Game Boy Advance for
Daredevil.
That was it. That was the only
bastard.
Game.
Jesus.
So yes, I want to see a good Daredevil video game.
I mean, you basically just make a fucking Arkham clone.
Yeah, I was gonna say you do an Arkham clone, or I think didn't I actually say this before? Like you do a VR, but you get the like kind of Echo view as Daredevil.
I think you did say that before. That would be really cool, actually.
Let's see, Daredevil, a good Ghost Rider. I mean, Blade had such. Did you ever play that old Blade game that I talked about?
No, I didn't.
Such a great. That game was so goddamn fun. I don't even think...
Is that in that underrated tier like Punisher?
It is. It really is. That generation, Hulk, Punisher, Blade, they fucking knocked it out of the park. The X-Men Legends, PS2, Xbox era, man. Whew.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2, shit. That might be the best generation for superhero games.
I think we talked about this before,
yeah,
but I do think that is the best generation.
Yeah. Do you have any interest in... What's a Marvel license that you really love? That you would like hasn't been done to death that you would love to see a game like are you a big Fantastic Four fan? And I know there's been games for Fantastic Four.
Fantastic has there been Fantastic Four games?
Not good ones.
There might be like What? Huh?
Not good games.
All right. No, I do like the Fantastic Four, like as like a franchise and stuff like that. Like I really liked the cartoon as a kid, even though it only lasted like 2 seasons. And like the movies, I thought they were fun. Like they're not great, but they're fun.
Yeah. Or even do a better.
Do another Silver Surfer. Fuck.
God. Yeah. Do that. I mean, or do Iron Man right. Not like the gem my buddy Jim and Chris and Matt got me.
We meant well, Brian. We meant well.
You got it on the discount rack at GameStop. Don't you goddamn dare.
Brian, that was Best Buy.
Even worse. And I remember being excited. I was like, oh, like Iron Man. Like that movie was, when it was still fresh, I was like, this is going to be kind of cool. Like, how can you go wrong making a flying shooter as Iron Man? Oh, it went wrong.
Wasn't that just like Superman Returns, but a lot worse?
Way worse. It was way too complicated. And granted, when you're Iron Man, like, it's going to be tough with all of his different weapons, how to not make it complicated.
Right.
And I don't know the right way. Like, take whatever the best fighter pilot jet game there is and insert Iron Man into that, and then maybe it's good. I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's fucking... What Marvel license would I like to see? Like, really bad.
I mean, X-Men, I mean, they've done Wolverine games. It would be kind of cool to get a really well thought out, like, I'm trying to think, like, somehow do like an X-Men universe.
It would be tough, but maybe like a Doctor Strange game where you can like conjure all these different powers and shit like that. Like, that would be fun.
Yeah, do the reverse. Make it a bad guy game, and you play as Doctor Strange. That would be kind of cool. Or
Doctor Strange's a good
I'm
guy.
sorry, never mind. I thought you said, some reason I thought I heard Doctor, and I went Doom right away.
You know what? A Doctor Doom game would kind of be cool.
Yeah. Dude.
Almost do like a real-time strategy, sending out all the Doom bots to fucking take over different areas and crap. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, it would be, like I said, they have plenty of good, they have plenty of franchises. But that is a great question.
Shit, you know what? No, I want to see a Fantastic Four because I love that fucking, not only the 90s cartoon, but I love the one from the 60s. I grew up watching those reruns on Cartoon Network.
Of course you did.
The fucking intro where the Thing's just picking up Galactus by his foot and flipping him. Oh, man, that show was great.
Jim, who was your favorite member of the Fantastic Four?
Thing.
Don't say it so fucking matter-of-factly.
What? Who else is it going to be? What?
Human
What,
Torch,
Reed
come
Richards?
on.
Ooh, I can stretch it. I'm smart.
Nobody likes Reed Richards. Come on.
Poor guy. He gets hated on worse than no. He gets cared about less than Cyclops. Cyclops gets
I was
shit
gonna
on
say
way
those
more.
two as like leaders, you just don't care.
Cyclops has his moments. It's just he needs the right writer. God damn it.
Cyclops, it was funny. He was always my brother's favorite X-Men, and I was always Wolverine.
He is an underrated hero. That poor guy has the weight of the world on his shoulders, and no one appreciates him.
But his wife is like, the toppest tierest mutant ever, so he's going to be overshadowed. He's not the breadwinner in that situation, Jim.
What? And every once in a while when she's dead, then he's going out banging Emma Frost, and then Jean Grey comes back. It's like, I'm going to go back to the redhead.
Yeah, but then Jean Grey's like...
Fucking Chad. Chad of a hero. Absolute Chad.
But here's the deal. He's
the
got
virgin Wolverine who's always crying for the pussy he can't
I was
have,
gonna say,
while Cyclops is swimming in it.
But you damn well know Jean Grey's hitting on the side with Wolverine. You know what's happening.
No, he ain't doing shit.
You think adamantium only comes out his hands?
Goddamn little man. Oh, what? He's gonna stab her through the fucking... Never mind.
She can handle it. She's a dark
Shit,
phoenix.
it's the wrong boner. No.
I've already said it many times over. You know who I think is probably the most underrated X-Men out there as far as power-wise. Iceman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Iceman's awesome.
Like that.
Anyone who's played Marvel vs. Capcom 2 knows about that.
I mean, you look at whatever it was. I think it was Emma Frost or someone who helped unlock his potential. He's like, oh, I could just convert the whole ocean to ice and take it. Like, I could just make everyone inside their body, their water molecules freeze and they die instantly. Oh, okay. Like, once he realizes what he could do, it's like kind of like Magneto, where it's too much.
Yeah.
Fucking Magneto. That would be a fun game. Do a GTA clone and be Magneto and just go around the city doing whatever the fuck you want.
That would be kind of fun.
Just like pure Hulk Ultimate Destruction mixed with GTA.
Yep. Every once in a while, fighting off the X-Men as they try to thwart your plans. Goal to take over the world.
Yeah. No, that's a great
I
question.
like it.
Now.
Yep. Next up from Phony Montana. Do people genuinely enjoy Star Fox 1 and 2 on the SNES? Star Fox 64 was so good it's hard to go back to 16-bit. What do you think the subsequent Star Fox games didn't hit as much as Star Fox 64 did?
1 and 2 are completely not fun to go back to. I think they're appreciated for what they did, and it was like looking back, you're like, oh, that's crazy, even though it seems primitive what the Super NES could do, but they're not fun to go back to at all, at least in my opinion. Star Fox 64 hit that perfect, like, it was arcadey, it was a child like Jim could pick it up and play it and be kind of good at it. It took no effort. Like, it's not a game that you need to be good in order to...
Sir?
Sir? You know I'm not wrong. It's a fun, mindless game. It does not require
get every
skill.
goddamn medal on expert and get back to back.
I could easily do that, Jim. I
You
beat it my
fucking
first try. Come on. You didn't do that.
You just took the blue route. Oh, normal.
But no, it's one of those games where the reason why I don't think it's had as much success, or its successors have done as well, is because that helped open the door for other flying shooters who just did it better, to be honest. And 64 was that perfect time of like, oh, first real 3D, pretty well handling game. Yeah, going back to 1 and 2, they just don't hold up. They have historic importance, and you have to appreciate it. But kind of like nobody goes back to Mario Kart on Super NES. There's a reason. It's not as fun.
It's a product of its time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I will give this to Star Fox 1. I never really sat down and played it until like 2 years ago. And I was actually shocked by how playable it was. Like, I was expecting choppy mess, unplayable, but cool for its time kind of deal. And as I played it, I was like, this actually still holds up way better than I'd expect. Like, yeah, it runs at 10 frames a second and shit like that, but it was still way more fun of a time than I was ever thinking of giving it credit for. Have not played Star Fox 2 on the SNES Mini yet. I should do that one day. But, Star Fox 64, perfect game. Adventures I don't count because that was, fucking reskin Dino Planet, whatever. Star Fox Assault, it's okay. It's just kind of missing something that, like, it's missing, like, a fun factor, weirdly. Like, it tries to recreate 64, but it's just not as good. Command on the DS, I didn't really play, but I hear that kind of gets bogged down with the whole, like, commanding the other troops portion and crap like that. And Zero was just them trying too hard to shoehorn the Wii U pad controller as a control scheme. So, like, I think that had other problems too, but I think if they just went with the more traditional control scheme, yeah, people would have liked that one a lot more. So, yeah, I think just Star Fox kind of got bogged down in them trying to... It's almost like F-Zero, where they tried to add too much to it every time, and it took away, like, the fun that was there beforehand. Keep it simple.
It's a franchise that it got what it needed out of the 64 era. It honestly should have died on the vine, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean...
Not every Nintendo franchise needs to turn into Mario, Zelda, Metroid. Like, there's some that I think F-Zero... And I would honestly put F-Zero and Jesus Christ, why is my mind blanking? Star Fox in the same exact realm. They have...
I mean, they're kind of in the same realm at this point.
But that's what I mean. Like, they have one or two, good games. The rest, meh. And then they're in Smash.
I mean, F-Zero had consistently good games, but then, like, the sales on the GBA games just, like, fell off a cliff. So, yeah, I mean, F-Zero, F-Zero X, F-Zero GX, all great games, but then after that, it was like, meow. And then you haven't seen it for 15 years.
There is a certain point where certain games like that, and I make the same argument with Smash, and I know people disagree, it's almost guaranteed the latest is going to be better. But for some reason, that's not the case with Star Fox or F-Zero games. Like, the latest technology, graphics, updates, it just doesn't catch you the same way. And you can't always explain why. But, yeah. I don't know. I think one or two, like Jim's saying, are they playable? Sure. But if you compare them to 64...
Oh, they don't hold a candle to it.
No.
But yeah.
Yeah. But don't
And
go
why
out of
is
your
there
way.
fireworks? There's either fireworks or gunshots going off outside my window right now. So,
Jim, don't be. Never mind.
don't worry. I'm in the basement. I'm safe. And last up from Burn Retinas. It might be cumbersome, but could one-up arcades try branching into releasing more gun-mounted cabinet games? I mean, T2's coming out, even though it's fucking $800 goddamn dollars. But
is
all
it
their
the same
all their
size
cabs
as
are
all
like
the-
600 to 800 now.
Is it the same size as the other one-ups? And it's still 800?
Yes.
See, that's my problem. I personally can't imagine, even if, is it single gun or dual gun?
No, it's the 2 guns.
How, like, that seems so, it just doesn't seem like it's going to work.
It's got to be cramped. I have to imagine.
That's my point. Like, I would rather them just come out and say, for $1,000, not a full size, but like a much bigger size version of a 1-up. Here's a gun. I'm not gonna get the shit anyway at the prices it is, and I know the regular 1-ups. Some people love them, some people hate them. Whatever, they're $300. It's not fully breaking the bank, but it is an investment.
Not anymore.
Oh, has it gone up?
Oh no! Every single one for the past like year and a half has been at least 500. They're all been between like 500 to 800.
Is it because they're adding a lot more games?
No,
Oh, chip shortages.
like
and all that other
Simpsons,
shit.
X-Men. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure like supply and chip shortages and material
Because I
shortages
remember
have
Mortal
not helped.
Kombat, NBA, like a lot of them like those at Walmart.
When they
and
came
Target-
out, they were at
yeah.
300.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm not crazy. Okay, that's why I said
No,
300.
no, you're right about the old ones.
Yeah, so at 300, there were a few. I was like, shit, I kind of want that. But like Jim and I have said, like grown-ups have kids. Like, where are we gonna put the shit? And it's like, I don't need it that much that I want to. I would rather build a pie and build a whole arcade cabinet with everything on it. But
Yeah, like a main cab, like
yeah,
no, I see the appeal of 1-ups, but like I'm just like it's too much of an investment for me.
yeah. But with the gun, that if the price point was right, I would get it. But to make it fun, I think you gotta make it at a price point I wouldn't want to get it. That's what I'm saying. Then you do 800 or 1,000, and you make it big enough where it's like a good sized gun. You're not cramped. It works like QC the shit out of it. Make sure it really, really works. Then okay, open up the doors for fucking Terminator, for Time Crisis, for the sniper game. Like, do all the gun games. But
Yeah, no, it would be cool because like I'm actually interested to see how the Terminator one works because one, it's on flat screen, and two, like I didn't even know this until buddy of the page Scarlet Sprites. He does a page just based around arcades basically, and he did a breakdown of the old T2 arcade, and they actually had like a gyroscope inside the gun. So it wasn't even like a traditional light gun. It like positioned the shooter based on the gyroscope inside the gun and where you were pointing.
so
Which is like kind of wild to think about.
it's bullshit.
So yeah, like it shit worked. It was great. So yeah.
because it could still spin and you could be aiming right, but it could be reading wrong.
Well, I never had that problem. God damn it. When I was at Sahara Sam's, when I
You
was a good
sucked
little
at
boy,
that game. You never beat.
I
T2.
didn't suck nothing. Wait,
You sucked plenty.
wait, easy. Keep pouring his Cocalero down my throat. See what happens.
Jim's favorite song was "Going to the Chapel."
Jesus Christ. So yes, to answer your question, I would like to see more gun-mounted ones, but the price for these things has to come down.
Yeah,
Like I know there's a hardcore 1-up community that's keeping them afloat at this point, but like I can't see like the $300 ones. It was like a tough sell for a lot of people. I can't see anyone except for the hardcore of hardcore is going for these $800 fuckers.
yeah. To the folks that do it, like Mr. Rightway and his wife Crystal, I know they have a bunch of 1-ups. That looks awesome.
Yep. Yeah, Mr. Rightway, Michael B. the Game Genie, he's a big one.
Yeah.
RGT85, he's got like a whole arcade of them.
See, I'm of the opinion
Tommy
like,
C, yeah.
if I was gonna go to that length where I want arcades and I want to collect like that, and I know they're crazy expensive, but I would want to get the legit arcade.
And you know what? For the most part, they're not as expensive as you would think. Like
What
some of
are
them
they,
are
like
in
a
real.
grand.
You could get some for less. Like there's listings
Okay.
sometimes for like a Neo Geo 4 slide cab for like $400 or $500 if you look in the right area and you get lucky enough.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I mean the problem is the maintenance for them. Like that's where your problem's going to come
Yeah.
in, trying to find a working one. But they're not really that bad.
Like, I already know a dude I work with did it for his son, and I know I'm going to do it. I'm going to build a legit... Once my kids are old enough and get a little more into games, I'm going to build... Like, I'm going to get the custom actual shit. I'm going to build a legit one. So it's like, you know, big size, but have it all. Because that's something I could see myself sitting down and playing. I can't see myself sitting down for a millionth time and be like, NBA Jam. Even when people come over, it'll be a fun party game. But we talk about complaints of shit we collect now, and that's little ass boxes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, of course, had to represent the Cocalero today, but normally my Galga's here. Like, my kid loves sitting down with this and playing it with me, but even then, she only keeps her attention for like 10, 15 minutes.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, so it's a good question. I just don't see them doing it at a price point that would make it worth it for me. So,
yep, agreed. So, yeah, that wraps up the questions for this week. So, once again, thank you to all of our lovely patrons for putting those questions in there. For everything you do. Like, you keep the page going because, let's face it, our analytics sure as fuck aren't doing it. So,
cheers, guys.
Yeah, we really appreciate it, guys. And, you know, once again, if you're new to the page, please check us out on iTunes and Spotify. Make sure to follow us on there. If you're on iTunes, leave a 5-star review. We will read any 5-star review on this page, even if you want to bash us. Or you can check us out on YouTube. Leave a comment there. Help the algorithm. Help us out. Hey.
Damn it. No, truly, truly appreciate it, and thank you all once again.
Yep.
All right, Chambers, you actually hit on this a little earlier, and it is news as of right now. It is the 20th anniversary of the Xbox, and hey, we're drinking green liquor, so it kind of goes with it.
Yes, as of today, November the 15th, the 20th anniversary of the release of the original Xbox.
So, I know you've become a more recent original Xbox whore as you've gotten games donated to you or you've found amazing deals.
Yeah.
Did you really play it that much when it was actually out?
No, what do you call it? It's funny with the original Xbox. Like, I just posted a picture today of my collection, and like, I'm like, fuck, I have way more Xbox games than I even expected.
Yeah.
And
by the way, we need to talk about some of those because I may need to buy some off you.
You can have some of the doubles. I have a couple doubles here and there.
Speaking of doubles, Jim, I expect to that ColecoVision. You have two now.
I do have two now. I mean, you and Todd can fight for it because he like immediately was like, "Oh, you have a ColecoVision. I need a ColecoVision." So I was like,
Jim, you're part of the Quinn clan now, so there is no fighting.
"You joined my clan, motherfucker."
Jim, come on.
I planted my seed first. Goddammit.
Napoleon. Come on.
I planted the seed first.
Napoleon. I warned you. I would do it. It might not. Never mind. I won't say the name. It might not have been him with the cousin.
I know. I'm sure someone has the story, but yeah, what do you call it? I mean, look, Todd, I can't help it if my co-host needs a ColecoVision for. I mean, if a guy needs a ColecoVision, guy might need to get a ColecoVision. So.
Todd, it'll get good use out of me, and you have more stuff than me, Todd. I need it.
No, yeah, I will test it. I'll test it and see if it works. But yeah.
The original Xbox, though, you never really played back in the day, right?
No, what do you call it? Like, I didn't have it. Only maybe one, like, tangential friend had one. So, like, no one in, like, my close circle had one. Well, actually, what do you call it? Eventually, my one buddy, John, had one. And that's actually the first time I saw someone play Silent Hill 2. And, like, playing that on PS2, how I did, like, that was cool and freaky. Looking at it on an original Xbox, holy shit. Like, the original... Ooh, pardon me. The original Xbox was like the thing for third-party games.
Oh,
kind of like how it is now. But like that always had the best ports of the third-party games. Actually, my biggest experiences besides like everyone played Halo. So we talked about it before how like when we were early in our friendship at school, we would go to the commuter lounge and just play Halo 2 in the lounge like fucking all the goddamn time.
Oh, dude, yeah.
But even outside of that, like my friend John had you know, Silent Hill 2, and we would watch him play that on there and shit our little pants. And my friend Andrew eventually had an Xbox, and there was a good year straight where every time we hung out, we would just hang out and play Star Wars Galactic Battlefront 2 and just do, like, Galactic Conquest. Mm-hmm. And do it again and again and again and again and again, just, like, building up our profile stats, building up all, like, our unlocks and our special perks and shit like that, like, just again and again, so...
Yeah. Yeah,
And then I didn't even own an Xbox system until 2009 or when I got my 360. So, or maybe it was like 2010. Maybe that's when I finally got my own.
yeah, I was
Because
gonna say
like,
it was a little while because for a while there, you and Matt just used Chris's.
oh no, back in college we all used our buddy Chris's. Like he was the one
Yeah.
with the 360, so that was like the house 360. We all used that one.
Yeah.
But I didn't get my own until probably 2010 when I got the 360 arcade version.
Yeah, so my brother had an Xbox, and I remember he had it for a while, and he was always a big sports game guy. And when he went to college, he didn't bring it with him, so he kind of just like left it for me. And I remember like I had a PS2 at the time, and I had a big collection, so I was like why am I really gonna use the Xbox? I thought the feature of like the remote with the little wireless thing for the DVD player was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But
A little cumbersome because you couldn't just use a controller, so
No.
you needed to use
Yeah.
that remote.
It was
So that's
a
where
little-
the PS2 still did it goddamn right with the DVD functionality, but at least it was there. GameCube.
But Jim, I wouldn't have noticed certain things if you had a remote in college. Playing God of War. Why is there a controller going to your bed, Jim? I'm playing God of War. Well, why is your TV off then? By the way, how funny is it you felt the need to lie? As a college man, you felt the need to lie about watching some porn.
Yeah,
Like, what the fuck? I don't give two shits if you're watching porn.
yeah, that was still a little good Catholic boy Jimmy trying to hide his shame.
But the Xbox, once I start discovering games, and I've talked about them enough, but as Jim said, a lot of the third-party games, you could argue, but most of the time they were better. I discovered like Stubbs very early. Obviously, Jim already said Halo. And I have a smaller original Xbox, but that's one of those systems, just like the PS2, that generation just made absolute like bangers of games that I still don't think are as appreciated as they should be. So
No, it really is, and like what do you call it? Like, there's still games on there. Like I don't have Bloodwake yet. And that's one I remember back in the day I always wanted. It's like Twisted Metal with boats. I'll play this.
yeah, I think it's a great system, and I think
I mean, Forza started there. Fable started there. I mean, that's
did
how
the
you could.
Burnout games start.
No, Burnout was on everything, but you know
Was
what?
it? Okay.
You know, what was the
felt like
first
it
one.
was-
You know, what was the first console one for there though? Fucking Morrowind, Elder Scrolls. That was the only
Yes,
system that could handle it.
You know what? And that was a game that changed. So it's funny. I got Morrowind. I didn't know what I was looking at, and when I read the back, I think it was one of those. I got it, and I went. I've never played an RPG really up to that point. I played it for a little bit, and like the idea of like how open it was. I remember one of the first things I did. I was like, I tried to be a Khajiit. I remember I was like, I'm gonna see about like, can I steal shit from people? And like I like jumped into someone's house, unlocked the door, got found. And I was like, holy shit! And then it opened up how crazy of a world it was to me. And at the time, what was it, high school or college? I think it was high school or whatever age I was. I was just more busy with like sports and girls at the time, so like I didn't dig into Jeff. I didn't dig into it, so I regretted that. But I remember just the little bit of time I did spend with Morrowind was like really, really hit me, and that's one of the reasons why I jumped so quickly on Fallout 3. And that really set me down the path was because it was still Bethesda. So yeah, that's a great point, Jim. Like, I never played PC. The only PC video games I played up until that point in my life were DOS, mostly Duke Nukem games. Did Duke Nukem 3D, and anything Age of Empires, Empire Earth, any RTS games. That was really my extent of PC playing.
Yeah, and me growing up with an iMac, I had even less to go on than you did. So whatever got ported to via Mac Play, or like that's why I played so much goddamn StarCraft, because like Blizzard was always good about Mac users. Like they didn't do us dirty. But like Sim Tower, StarCraft, that was kind of it. Arthur's Teacher Trouble. Back in my
And
old
still
Mac
my
Tower
favorite
2.
game you had for that because it spawned the best story.
With Arthur's Teacher Trouble?
No. I said the best game you had for it because it spawned the best story. Star Wars.
What was the story?
Battlefront when you were playing, and your dad goes, if it wasn't for that promotion, you wouldn't be
Oh,
here.
yes. My lovely father telling me about how I was conceived. Wasn't for that promotion, you wouldn't be here. Exact quote.
For some reason, I still remember you saying, like, I'm sitting there on my iMac playing a Star Wars game, and I think you even said, like, you were the Wookiees or something. And he just comes over and says that. You're like, okay.
What do I say to this? Yeah, my old man would enjoy coming home from work because he was a cop and he would work variable shifts. So when he worked 4 to 12, he would come home, go downstairs, and grab a 6-pack at 12:30 at night. And yeah, he'd have himself a time. So yeah, that came out one night, and I was just like, okay, well, there it is, just out there. I knew I was a mistake, but they basically confirmed it a few times.
Jim, what could have made you think that? The 11-year difference with your sibling?
Everyone playing.
Everyone has 11 years.
God. We just pray and pray for years to have another one. We don't get out of the phase and go, oh yeah, I'm in my 40s, I want to do this again. That's how it happens.
But Jim, the real question is, which color Mac was it again?
Oh, it was the white iMac DV Special, Brian. The first one with the DVD player inside.
There you go.
Fucking love that
And do your
thing.
parents still have it?
Yes, they do.
Do
What do
they
you call
ever actually use it?
You know what they do? Actually, when my nieces go over, my oldest niece plays Bejeweled every time she goes over there,
funny.
and she'll just sit on there and play that. And I actually posted a video on one of our only shorts on our page. Is like me playing or dicking around with Unreal Tournament on there.
Oh, I saw it. Yeah, I did.
A little choppier than I remember, but I was still
yeah.
like, man, I played the fuck out of this as a kid.
Too bad you never got good.
I was good. I beat that goddamn game.
But no, the original Xbox, big cheers. Great system. So,
Big cheers. Great system. Underrated system, I'll say.
for sure. Yeah.
Yep. And speaking of things, and Brian,
Oh,
that makes me feel old because it's 20 years
Jesus
old.
Christ, yep.
And speaking of making us feel old, coming to us from Polygon, and of course, remember we like to dunk on Polygon, but this is a harmless little article. So there's a game out there called Unpacking, which is basically based around setting up a house. Unpacking different items,
Literally.
putting them in the right slot, and you actually have to put the things in the general right area to progress the whole game.
Can you believe that? You and I have talked about I'll call it the menial task games that have been, the one that really sparked me, I was like, holy shit, there's a lawn mowing simulator where you, get different tractors, you start a business, and you mow lawns. And that was a big joke for a while. And then there's, the power washing one where you power wash the side of houses. I'm like, what the fuck? These are just straight up menial tasks. That's crazy. And now there's one about unpacking shit, which is, if anyone's ever moved, packing and unpacking shit is the
nightmare.
So fucking
Awful.
I don't care who you are, do yourself a favor, don't ask your friends, pay for movers. I know it's
Yes.
expensive, but
I will
just
if
do
I
it.
I'm never moving because I'm too broke. But if I ever get the chance to move, I am fucking hiring someone,
Yes.
boxing it all up, and saying you fucking do it.
Yes. But to Jim's point, yeah, so sorry, Jim. So yeah, this unpacking game.
Yeah, and
God.
actually, apparently it's really, they put a lot of effort in. It isn't just, some bullshit game.
Oh,
there are
yeah.
14,000 audio files of picking stuff up and placing them down. So, an innumerable amount of combinations of putting thing on thing you will get a proper sound effect for. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But where we can feel old is the fucking GameCube's in the game, because it's set in the 2000s, because that's when the guys who made the game grew up.
Yep.
And people are getting stuck on the GameCube because they don't know what it is. So they think it's a toaster and they put it in the kitchen, and they keep getting it wrong.
Can I just be honest though?
Right, we're old.
We are old, but can I just say that doesn't look like a very good GameCube. They're over amplifying the handle. The handle is not that pronounced.
Right? The handle was the selling point for the
But let's be honest. You look at that. That shit does look like a deep fryer or a toaster. The way it's drawn. It's
Yeah, if you're going to draw a GameCube, I'm guessing they were trying to get around copyright or whatever, so they had to
make it
change out the
purple.
layout. Yeah. Well, even besides that, the controllers are in 4 slots on the left side, the 2 memory cards are on the right side, so it's
Yeah.
not the proper layout with it. It's tweaked enough. but it's still a fucking GameCube.
It's still no, yes. Obviously, you and I and most gamers would get that. It is funny, but that's the realization that you and I think everyone that gets older comes to. We kind of, I think, thought that certain generations, like if you show someone a PS1, if it weren't for that PS1 Mini, new generations would look at that and be like, the fuck is that? Like it wouldn't even click. Now the only thing a PlayStation has going for it is its controllers have basically stayed the same, so they can probably put 2 and 2 together.
True.
Whereas, you look at a GameCube, you'll go, what the fuck? If you looked at a GameCube game, they would think that was a joke. The disc, how small it is, they'd be like, what is this? So yes, the internet's here, and it will reveal ignorance of younger generations. I actually think it's kind of just really funny, and it's one of those things, like, I would laugh more if they saw just a straight up cordless phone that everyone had, that gray cordless phone that every household had, and they didn't know what to do with that. That would make me laugh, like shit like that. Or everyone who had the clear landline phone that showed all the circuitry and shit in it, because a lot of people had that shit. Jim, what kind of phone did you have in your room?
In my bedroom? I had the old... Actually, it's still at my parents', of course it is. It's the one that was like the beige, the beige fat boy with the phone handle on top, but it was the dial tone one. Okay. So it had the buttons. So in the kitchen, the one that was like the main phone growing up, the one that was hung on the wall, the thin, skinny guy that you just took off the mount, rotary.
Yep.
We had a black one. We had the classic black fat boy rotary. Yep. And then we eventually got a couple touch-tone ones, and then eventually got the handheld sets. Like, my parents still have landlines because they don't trust cell phones, so they still have that. But yeah, I mean, even until maybe for a long time, they still had a rotary phone hooked up in their house.
Jim, it's funny because I'm not doing this as a dunk on you, but I think of, like, me and a lot of people I knew growing up, and obviously, like, Juan, but a lot of my friends, like, setting up our bedroom was a flex to any friends or girlfriends coming over. So I remember the things that were most important, other than, like, were what posters you had on the wall,
right?
What type of landline phone you got, and then the stereo you had in your room. Like that, those were the things that, like, you would just, you had to have a certain way. And then, of course, you could get fancy, like, I also got a lava lamp, or, like, some goofy shit.
I had a few lava lamps.
Yeah. But, like, the landline phone, I remember I went through a couple, and, like, one, I remember I had, like, the police box style one time I thought was so cool. And then I remember, like, I got the black cordless that had a speakerphone on it. So I didn't have to hold that shit to my face when you would talk for 3 hours to a girlfriend all night. Like, that was the type of shit I remember. I was just like, dear God.
It's kind of weird to me to think, like, kids these days, like, don't have to do the magic of, like, flashing in a third party for, like, a multi-call, like, hitting that button at just the right second after you make that first phone number call, just to try and get it right, and then you fuck it up 3 times until you do get it right. Or just the, like, act of, like, sitting on a phone call with a friend for, like, an hour at a time at least.
Oh, yeah.
Like, having a conversation. Like, now that's a Discord call. That's what the kids these days do.
Yeah, and they don't, and most of the time it's still just text. Like, the idea of, going home to talk on the phone was such a thing. And then if your mom or dad picked up, you're like, I'm on the phone.
Mom got the goddamn phone.
And to get knocked off the internet because someone picked up the phone. Oh, my God. Like,
yep.
Yeah. So all this shit, makes me feel old. The fact that they don't, you know what, like you said.
Fucking kids will never know having to type into your modem *67 so a picked up line would not kick you off the internet.
Yep.
Fuck. Until your mom goes,
Jim, get off the phone. I gotta call my friend. Mom, I'm about to win StarCraft.
But you never did.
You shut your whore mouth. I was a Bronze League hero, I'll have you know.
But yeah, good job, Kotaku. Finally, a non-cringe. Oh, they're the same.
I mean, essentially, but yes, no.
It's a non-cringe article that wasn't complete clickbait. And you know what bothered me the most about that was that there was a video game about unpacking. That, like, how many more, like, literally, I'm waiting, and I can guarantee you on Steam or shit, when is there to, like, take a poop simulator where you have to wipe a good
I think
amount?
there's already been things.
Yeah. The upgrade is like
Bri,
getting a bidet, a tushy, and you're like, ooh, now
Bri,
I'm
we
wiping
live-
even more efficiently.
We've lived through the era of take a shower with your dad simulator, so like everything's been on goddamn Steam at this
Jim,
point.
I don't want to believe that's an actual thing.
That was a thing. It's been pulled, but it was a thing.
God damn it, Jim.
What?
God. Don't what me. You know what? You motherfucker.
But I never played it. I just know of it. Intimately.
So yes, very very good article, Jim.
Hopefully Cocalero hung up by now.
Yeah, don't keep watching.
This is why we don't get more stuff sent to us.
All right. So then, keeping with the Xbox theme, this is also pretty much brand new news.
Yeah, as of today, more breaking news. Very topical episode we have this week.
Very Xbox heavy. But it turns out the Elder Scrolls 6 is pretty much confirmed to be Xbox exclusive. Now, this is IGN. We have link below, but there were other articles. They're all saying basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. I guess we didn't know for sure. It was all speculation. But once that deal with Microsoft and Bethesda went through, we all kind of assumed, like, that's the way they close the gap, is by saying Fallouts, Elder Scrolls, all those titles, even maybe Dooms, would end up being exclusive to Xbox or Microsoft at least. So I'm not.
And earlier
shocked.
this year, we had that day where like all those Doom games just got dumped onto Game Pass.
Yeah. So yeah, Bethesda, like almost every Bethesda game is still on Game Pass, and now that Elder Scrolls 6 is coming out. Now, Jim, you made the point before. Is it kind of short-sighted by well, Bethesda doesn't have a say. Is it short-sighted by Microsoft to do this because they're missing out on sales? I guess their heart is really in the gaming market. Like, they're not just in it for the dollar. They really want to compete, and I think that is a way they compete.
Look, we've been saying it forever. We saw what happened with the Xbox One era with exclusives and how that hurt the console. They need to have a reason for people to buy the fucking thing. Yeah. Now, even if they get the exclusive, because for all we know, they could be pushing to eventually just be... Like, they could always consider the Xbox console as a loss leader and just have Game Pass be their main thing.
Yeah.
And just, you know, if someone doesn't want to buy a gaming computer, here, just buy an Xbox and have Game Pass. Like, make it a Game Pass machine.
Or just have Xbox on your PC, and even if you're just not on Game Pass, you can buy it digitally and play it through your computer.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that's why you buy out these game studios like Bethesda.
Yeah.
Like, you need to have a reason for people to go to your thing. And
that's a hell of a reason.
That's a fuck of a reason right there.
If that thing is even half of what Skyrim is, that's going to be fucking nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, how many... we just got the Skyrim Anniversary Edition, and that's, what, now number 15 of the fucking re-release? And you know Skyrim is one of in my top 5 favorite games. I even think it's ridiculous how many re-releases it's gotten. But now if this one comes out, and like I said, if it's even half as successful as Skyrim, whew.
I mean, Morrowind was a hit, but it was still a little too early.
Yeah.
Oblivion was a big game.
That was huge.
Skyrim was Skyrim. Like, Skyrim's a meme. Skyrim became a meme.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, I mean, when Elder Scrolls 6 drops, people are going to flock to it.
When I look at games that I think, like, in modern age, holy shit impact, it's GTA 5, Skyrim, Minecraft, and Fortnite.
Yeah.
Like, and I know there's others that are big, but I'm saying the level and the longevity.
No, I would say those are the biggest.
Yeah. It's, now here's the deal. Can something even live up to that Skyrim hype?
That is the problem, but you know what? If they make a quality enough game, and like, here's the thing Bethesda always has going for it too. Bethesda's never been known for their polish for their games. So they've had Like Fallout 4 was divisive. Fallout 76 was a disaster of a release. So
See, it's funny. I still think Fallout 4, like, even though after
no, Fallout 4 has a lot of fans. Not to cut you off, like it
Yeah.
has a lot of fans who really like it, but it was divisive because the more hardcore Fallout fans hate it. So
which is so stupid. But yeah, the crafting maybe got to him. I don't know, but
well, it's the more focus on action in that one, I think. But yeah, and I mean, Elder Scrolls Online, like I know it has its fans. I don't know how popular it is. Like you can buy copies of it at $5 below. So,
I don't hear about it as much because it's like any online game now. It's on Game Pass for free. It's like they'll give it to you dirt cheap because they make their money through other shit. And I think
Right.
gamers are just tired of that kind of thing. So yeah, giving a dedicated Elder Scrolls game. And you know what? I'm always fine with a game. I'm never okay with a random multiplayer, a Call of Duty, Halo, whatever, having a ton of bugs. I'm okay with a game that you could literally dump 700 hours into. That's a single player campaign having bugs. Because I don't care how much you QC it. Oh, I didn't realize by hour 35, if you go to this one alley, like something happens and it crashes the game.
Right.
I can forgive that much more. And they do patch it eventually. It is kind of funny, though. It's also kind of fun finding those bugs. But though that's much more forgivable than a game that takes 3 hours to beat. And you're like, why the fuck is there bugs in a game like that?
Yeah, true.
But yeah, I think this just really, I mean, with the deals they're making with Sega, the deals with Bethesda, the deals they've been doing over the past couple of years, they're showing for sure they want to keep competing in gaming, and they're going hard at PlayStation. So
Yeah, and I mean they are saying though, like they are years away from a release. So
I'm sure.
like it's not even close, but like it's gonna be a while before it comes out. It might be late or the end of the Xbox, series line. But when it comes out, all signs are pointing towards exclusive. Which, I mean, if you want to last her, you know what, if it's gonna be a couple years, I think it would be smart for it to be a last hurrah for the series line.
Yes.
Or almost as a crossover to the next Xbox line. Do what they did with like Breath of the Wild with Nintendo. Wait a little bit, put it as that big game to get for either the last gen or the game to buy for the new gen. There you go.
But you know what? Here's the deal. Keep it on the goddamn series, because that'll be the time when I can actually get a goddamn Series X. Because I know, like, if there's any shortages like this, fucking ridiculous. I know I'm not getting the new one anytime soon either. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, luckily we're still in that era where everything's still coming to the. I mean, we both have original Xbox Ones, so
Yeah.
we're a bit behind the times at this point.
Not willingly, I'll say that.
Yeah, it's actually. I mean, I'll give it credit. Fucking our machines are 8 years old and they're still running. So
They do the job.
And you've used yours way more than mine. So
I'm waiting. I'm like, please don't go. I'm almost at that point where it's like, do I invest now in what's the slightly upgraded Xbox One? Xbox One
Xbox
X?
One S or X or whatever.
Yeah. It's like, is it worth just getting that in the meantime? Because who knows?
It's a backup.
Yeah. But no, that's, like I said, very, very Xbox heavy episode. But you guys let us know what you think. Is that a good idea to bring Elder Scrolls and keep it exclusive or not? You let us know what you think. All right, Chamber. So this week we have our Which is Better, and you put this one up here. So why don't you explain it?
Very simple, and kind of goes with all the indie games I've been playing. Which is better, indie games or indie beers?
Do you mean craft beers?
Craft beers, obviously, yeah. But I mean, like, not just because you're a craft beer doesn't mean you're specifically indie. Like, Yangling's technically an indie. Sam Adams is technically
Craft. They
indie
don't
craft
say
beer.
indie. Goddamn it!
They're craft beer, but I mean, I always consider indie not like the big three.
Not the big. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think there's more of?
That is a really tough question.
I would think.
I mean, if you want to talk just brass tacks numbers, obviously games.
Yeah, because on Steam you can throw anything up there.
Right.
Okay, so this is gonna be divisive. What do you think's harder, to brew a beer that you're going to, in one form or another, okay, let's just qualify for indie beers. You at least have to have a micro brew tap house, like to sell the beer. You're not.
Okay.
We're not talking about guys just outside their garage.
Right. Okay. Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
So
Yeah, because like the Garage Boys are basically the Steam green light of fucking craft beer.
So
yeah.
same with indie games. We're talking someone who
A bit of QC there, bit of quality.
yes, bit of quality, and you're gonna get charged. What do we say? At least $20 for the game.
I think that's on the high side. Indie games are way cheaper for the most part, even
I'm saying,
quality
but
ones.
when you do the quality, it gets questionable down that $10 range.
You know what? Fucking, I mean, I've been talking
can
about these.
you can find okay ones. but you also got that shit on Mega Sale. What
No,
is
but
it not on
DYA,
sale?
like DYA games, like I got it on sale for $1, or I paid $1, but they're normally like $5, and I'm like, man, this is way more quality than $5. Shit
Okay.
like that.
So that okay. So
I mean, it depends on the indie game too, but I
Sure.
mean, I think when Shovel Knight came out, that was maybe 10 to 20, something like that. Or like Celeste, I think that was in that range, shit like that.
So it's really tough. So this is a really
I want to see where
question.
you go with it, because I have a very simple answer, which you're going to hate, but I want to see where you go with it first.
I mean, I know I'm going to hate your answer because it's not
You
going
always
to be
do.
but it's because it's not going to be well thought out.
It's not going to be well thought out, but it's going to be a very salient point.
So indie games, the thing is, they last forever, and essentially, once you get them, you technically have it. And finding a hidden gem in an indie game is more common than I think finding a gem in an indie beer. And when you say gem in indie, god damn it, I mean craft beer. Both of them just have such an explosion that it's really tough to differentiate. So when I find a good craft beer that's a small company that I really like it's really appreciated, but it's fleeting. And the thing is, when you find a beer that you enjoy, it can only go one of two ways. It's always going to stay that small, or it's going to blow up and maybe the quality goes away. So it's a very momentary, in the moment enjoyment. Because of longevity, I have to kind of go indie games because of that reason. Like, I think it takes more effort to stay a craft beer brewer, deliver on something good, and keep your fans there. Indie games, you can come out with a smash hit like a Shovel Knight, and even if you don't do anything else, you made that smash hit, and it gets in the lexicon a little more. Whereas beer, most people are never ever going to hear about it. Even if you have a great craft beer, you not only have to make great craft beer, you have to do it consistently for enough years to then mass produce, to then get over to States. So it's such a tougher market. So I think it is much tougher to make a craft beer that hits than it does a game. I think it's much easier, and I'm not saying it's easy to make a game. I'm saying it's easier to get a smash hit out of a game, and the effort's a lot less than it would be a craft beer. So I appreciate a craft beer that goes from rags to riches more than I do a game. So effort, everything else goes to that. What I prefer is, in the long run, the game, because at the end of the day, a craft beer, even with the greatest brewers in the world, you could probably emulate the style, but the game that comes out is pretty much going to be unique to that one programmer, designer, if that makes sense. So,
Yeah, that makes sense.
So long-term, personal, I think you get more use out of an indie game developer that makes something good. But effort and what it takes, I appreciate more the brewer.
There you go. And my answer is indie games because it's way cheaper.
But is it, though? Well, it's for that one-time purchase, it is, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I mean, you can go to a small tap house, but even if you go to a small tap house and you want to try everything on the roster, you're still probably going to spend at least $40 plus on it. And then, of course, after a few beers, you're going to have snacks, and there's always going to be some kind of investment in there. Whereas, with a game, you can play some little shit dick thing on Steam or, the eShop marketplace for a couple of bucks, handful of bucks.
Yeah.
So it always feels like you're, and obviously with these like smaller games, they always try to give you a reason to buy it. So even if you see one that you're kind of excited for, I guarantee if you wait like 3 months, you'll probably get it on a goddamn sale. So
Yeah.
like it's way easier to get it on a sale, to get it cheaper and stuff like that too. Whereas like craft beer, when do they ever have sales on anything?
No, but they can't. That's why I'm saying.
No, they
like,
can't. Like
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. Like you could maybe have a day where they have a special promotion or something that you get lucky with, but that's like a once, twice a year thing tops at a brewery. So
Well, let me ask you this. All right, to flip your thing. Yes, monetarily, it's not a debate. But, so these DYA games, and this is not shitting on them, but
right.
I know you. Once you beat those games, I know you're never going back to them. And even if you got them for $1, let's say max price $5, $10,
Right.
it still gave you 3 hours of entertainment that you were like, that was a cool thing. The memories of what you do at a craft brewery, when you find one you really like, and say you find a place that you really like, you've gone to a lot of them around us that you've gone back to.
Yeah.
Probably cumulative time is now more. And if you find a place you really love to go to, the story of its growth is more impactful to you. And I think you can keep getting future. You know you're gonna get more reliable shit out of them. Like in the Chamonix Creek, we know when they keep releasing stuff, we're gonna keep enjoying their stuff. Whereas that indie game developer, a lot of them tend to just, though they may have a few games, they might just fall off one day.
They start making a lot of text-based adventure games.
Yeah. No, it's a good question. It's really
No,
comes
and,
down to
like-
the experience. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like, yeah, like what you said, like, if you find a craft brewery that you really like, you're going to go back there and know that you're always going to have a good time. You're going to get, you're going to spend more, but you're also going to get, like, every time you go there, way more fun in the long run. And you're 100% right about the games. Like, I'm playing through these games, and I am enjoying them, and they were very cheap. And I'll play through them again enough to get, footage for a video that I want to do on eventually. Then after that video, am I ever going to touch them again? Most likely not. So, yeah, there's very much that part of it, too. Now, you can, weigh the time played towards investment, blah, 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 but, yeah, it doesn't beat actually, going out with, people and having a place to go to and experiences, and especially however they set up their craft room with, activities and shit like that. So, yeah, it's a very different animal, so it really depends on the kind of, personality you are, too, but...
I also like with craft beer, any place you go, you can probably get a growler or something. If you enjoy something enough, it's much easier to share that. Like, if I want to share a beer with you and some of our buddies, I can just be like, guys, I got this growler, let's try this out. A game, you can't really do it. Where you're going to say, hey, Brian, make sure you download this game to play. That's a pain
Hope it's on
in the
Game
ass.
Pass so you can play for free.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
like I said, it is different. For money purposes, if you're being cheap, yeah, games. For experience, I would go beer. But because it would be impossible to say what has more winners and hitters, because that's impossible to.
Yeah, I mean, fuck. I mean, I think you're more likely to find a craft brewery that's but you're more likely to find indie games that are just straight garbage and
Yeah.
people trying to make a cash grab.
Yeah.
You have to put so much investment into a craft beer that you can't afford to make something shit just to hope to fucking milk some
Exactly.
quick dollars out of it. So
Yeah.
I think that you're almost forcing a more quality out of a craft beer like that.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, at the end of the day, effort is it takes way more effort and energy and cost to do the indie beer route versus the game route. Because you could literally be a programmer at home. It's going to take you thousands of hours, but once you're done, you're done. That thing can only generate, with a beer, you have to keep making batches. So
Yeah,
it's a job
true.
that's never really done. So yeah, that's a good question. It's very topical for us, Jim.
Yeah, go me.
All right.
I always try to spice in the liquor stories. And actually, before we get to our last topic right now, this fucking Cocalero has snuck up on me.
It did me as
Fucking
well.
hammered right now. Holy
I was
shit.
gonna say I finished the bottle I poured out from the bottle I took from you. I know when I'm at that point because my tongue, I can feel a lot more saliva on it.
Oh yeah, I got the saliva going. Almost
Yeah.
to tongue numbness too, or
Yes.
numbness.
Numbness. It's
As you can tell by how I'm talking right now.
It's
Man,
good.
This is fucking sneaky shit. Holy crap.
It's so good. It's smooth. But that's what also brought me to our final topic and why I put the question here. Which is worse? We're a beer channel, but we've had people on who aren't as big into beer. So, Jim, you've had every type of hangover. So have I.
Oh, have I ever?
But what's the worst hangover for you? A beer hangover, a wine, or a liquor? And to qualify it, it can't just be... I don't mean when Jimmy Wimmy Pants has, 3 beers and gets drunk. I'm saying when you go out and have way too many beers. And I'm not saying you're shitty Keystone that you just pee out and it's water. So you have some strong boys.
I know what you mean. I know.
Same with wine. Yeah, and everyone's wine tolerance is different. And same as liquor. And I know there could be a whole category for liquor where it's like tequila, whiskey, vodka. Like each one could be a different hangover.
They do have different hangovers, though.
So
Yeah.
I would say choose. You can even qualify it, say which one of your liquor hangovers is the worst versus your best, and kind of try to average it out as best you can. But which one do you prefer? Like, which one do you wake up the next day and there's a serious thought, like, I don't want to drink for a while because this was so bad?
Okay, I actually really like how you put that with go with the worsts. So I'll do it for each one of these.
Yeah.
So let's start with liquor. The worst hangover I ever had from liquor, and you will remember this day, was our buddy Chris, bringing him up again, his 21st birthday. We had a handle of Bacardi Limon. And for whatever reason, I drank way more of that than either I should have. I like to say than anyone else did, but that probably was not the case. It just did not sit well.
You drank half of what we all drank.
How dare you, sir?
Jim,
So-
for a guy that drinks all the time, you are an amazing lightweight. I don't understand it.
Well, bro, some people we're just we're big soft bitches. What can you say? But yeah, so for whatever reason, that just did not sit the right way, and that was one of those legendary hangovers. Like, I've only had a handful of hangovers in my life where I spent the next day shaking, and I was legitimately just this is not good. And you remember, I sat on the couch for half the goddamn day, just covered up, shaking, pale as can be.
Jim, they do have a word for that. It's called alcohol poisoning.
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
Yeah.
We tried to give me Pepto-Bismol to settle my stomach, so I just started puking up pink. But at least it wasn't bile, so that helped out with just a pure bile pukes, which is the worst. And, we played some Hero Escape at that point. And as I was doing my turns, I was puking into a bucket that was right next to me so that I could actually play. So that was pretty horrific, even though by 5 o'clock I was kind of a human again. But that's a kind of a recurring theme. Worst beer hangover I ever had was my first beer hangover. And that was my brother's bachelor party. I was 18. I was going beer for beer with his 300-pound ex-Marine friend. Drinking Molson Triple X's. No, Molson Ices. Molson Ices. And yes, Jimmy Wimby Pants. First time, then was going, oh, fucking, this is fucking great. I'm all fucking drunk. And then by 4 o'clock, I am donezo. And I mean, we started 11 in the morning, so I had 5 hours, and I was dead after that. So that was my first experience, fucking puking all night, puking into a bucket, running to the bathroom to puke, fucking, no sleep, just puke, 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 puke. First time having a pure bile hangover, pukes, just throwing up stomach acid because there's nothing left in there, the pure pain. And I've had beer hangovers a lot, and beer hangovers do suck, but I only really get them at this point when I mix and match. So it's if I stick to one beer, even if it's a craft beer, if I drink one craft heavy beer all night, I might feel like shit the next day, but I won't be dead. But if I mix and match, I'm fucking, I'm hurting. That's a combo of headache and stomach. But at this point, I can also kind of be all right, I'm going to puke a couple times and I'll take a nap and I'll eat some Burger King and be fine. So I kind of have that. Whereas with wine hangovers, the worst wine hangers, worst wine hangers, man, this fucking Cocalero is getting, holy shit. I have not been this drunk on a podcast in a long time. I'm fucking good right now. The fucking drinking the cheap shit. So, in an old band I was in.
Just
we
tell me
had
it's red, not white.
Oh, right.
Damn it,
what do you
Jim.
call a Sutter house or a Sutter home?
That's a style which can have red or white, Jim.
Isn't that like a Zinfandel?
You
More
can
so-
if you have a Zinfandel, then you have a Zinfandel.
That might have been. So no matter what, we got like the pinky-ish. It was probably a Zinfandel. The Sutter home handles, and we would each buy one, and we would drink that through the night, and then obviously smoke weed and shit like that. And though like I have never had more feeling of being overheated and the worst headaches of my life after a cheap wine hangover like that. And it's all something different. Like the liquor hangovers can make your body just feel like death. The beer hangovers can get your stomach just twisted as hell. And the wine hangovers are the ones that just make your head feel like it's about to explode. So it's really like pick your poison at that point. I might have to go wine though, because the cheap wine hangovers with just the pain it gives your head is so goddamn unpleasant. And it could be like a 30-degree day out and you feel like your body temperature is 130. And like it's just so goddamn uncomfortable where you're just like, I wish I could just puke this out of me, but you can't. It's just like stuck in you. So I got to go with the wine hangover on that one.
No, those are great points. So beer is funny, similar. I've made the mistake many a time when I first discovered Merry Monks 9%er.
Oh yeah.
You have too many of those. What I realize with beer is though, the nice thing with beer is because it's so filling. I don't care who you are when you're having craft beers, you're not having more than let's say 6 in a night. Like if they're like 9% or like heavy percent beers. Like
yeah, if you hit that like 9 point, you're either like 9 beers point, you're either going to puke it all out before you go to sleep, or yeah, you're just not going to hit that point. Yeah.
And if you do, like Jim said, with beer, I always feel like I do feel like a little bit like I always feel like the next day I drag kind of all over. And the thing you didn't talk about, which I'm amazed, beer is the number one thing where I get bad beer shits. Like the beer shit is so. I know you drink water and get the shits.
No. You can't talk to me about the shits. I'm gonna have the shits regardless. It does not matter.
But I'm saying, isn't it worse with beer? Like, because beer definitely does it to me more. Like that's the one day where I'm not only gonna puke. I know I'm gonna be like, okay,
okay. To your point, I will say there is a better chance that I fall asleep on the toilet while taking a shit after beer than I do with wine or liquor. I will give you that.
Yeah, so beer, like, yes, if you have a light beer,
sorry,
a Miller, a Keystone, whatever, you could have like 12 beverages. But the thing is, you're peeing through the night, you're drinking. Like, I don't care how drunk you get with beer, you don't hit that, like, what I would call that crazy threshold. And you've been to many of my house parties.
Oh, yeah.
Doing beer bongs, beer things, doing shots. Like, I always got drunk, but I never got, like, complete blackout because I would at the end of you'd also be full, you'd want to eat. So beer, like, kind of always eases you in, and the next day always sucks, but it's manageable. What you said about wine, I can't agree with enough. Obviously, if you spend a lot more money on wine, that's what you're spending more money on, is getting less of a hangover. And that's true for kind of any liquor or alcohol. But I've made the mistake, like, I'll get me and the wife, like, a few bottles of nice wine. And she's not a big drinker. She'll have, like, half a glass. And then I'm like, well, I finished this bottle. I want to open up the next one. Let me just go do that. And I'm naturally, me and my son, my wife says when we sleep next to her, like, she noticeably, her whole side of the body will sweat wherever I'm close to it because I'm so hot. But when I drink wine, like, I literally, like Jim, my blood just boils. And the headache is a different type of headache. Because there's different hangover headaches. But the wine one is, liquor is tough because I know if at some point at night, if I'm drunk enough where somebody offers me a straight shot of regular-ass vodka, I know I'm puking it up almost immediately, and I don't care who you are. If you ever drink, this is one piece of advice I can give you, do enough to throw up before you go to sleep. It will pay dividends the next day. It's not going to be comfortable. Throwing up sucks. But if you can get some of it out, your body will be grateful the next day. And then chug a bunch of water, do what you got to do.
And also, invest in Liquid IV. It is
Yeah.
a sugary drink. You just pour it into a bottle of water. Just
Or
force
Pedialyte.
yourself to chug it down.
Yeah, Pedialyte or Liquid IV. Just get your electrolytes back in you. Like, you need all that shit.
Or have some weed handy for the next day for the emergency. Because fucking that'll just blanket it all out. But yeah.
But with liquor, I look at, like, I've made the mistake. Juan, his old house, if you remember, off Algon.
The fucking... What the community with the J?
No, not
Juniata?
Juniata. Not that house. The other house. The one near Northeast.
Oh, what, the one off Codman?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I made the mistake. I go over there when I first discovered, like, Bullet whiskey. The problem is now I drink whiskey like I could drink beer. Like, it doesn't burn at all, and I can literally drink it straight, and I don't think about it. And especially, like, if I'm outside talking to people, I pour glass after glass. I finished an entire bottle of Bullet in one sitting in one night, and I'm shameful to say I did drive home that night.
Whoop.
Was not a smart idea. I puked my guts up before I went to bed. I went to bed. I woke up, puked, went back to bed, woke up, and just the pain of every person who's ever got drunk enough knows what I'm about to explain. When you wake up and you realize if you shift your head even a little, there's going to be a pulsing headache that goes through your entire body. So you find that perfect position to say, even though I'm not that comfortable, I'm not feeling pain through my head, so I won't move. And, like, you might even be kind of awake, but you're, like, refusing to move your head because it hurts so bad. So, because of me and my inability to recognize, like, with liquor, it can sneak up on you so fast. And I am a social drinker in the terms of when I'm sitting there, I keep drinking. Like, if I have a drink in my hand, I just always chug it down too fast. So liquor always gets me the worst because the next day I'm always paying much, much worse than the other two. So I got to go with liquor on that one as worst hangover.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Like, fucking... Liquor is the one that just makes you just feel like your whole body's like, this is... I'm shutting down right now. Like, this is just game over. Like, that's what's going on here.
Yeah. And you can do it so fast, like, if you are in a situation. Now, if you're at a bar or a wedding, you got to keep going up and getting more drinks. You may not get to that point. But if you're at your house or a friend's house and you just have open access to liquor, that's where it gets dangerous.
And I mean, obviously my worst... I mean, it wasn't even the worst hangover of all time because my feeling-wise, I didn't feel it. But the aftermath of what I saw, I was like, what the fuck happened? Obviously, my bachelor party, when you guys made me chug that bottle of Glenlivet. And I just wake up the next day, you know, like fucking, I remember nothing of the day, nothing of the night. Apparently, I was walking around the bar with my pants down like half the time. I wake up on the toilet. I'm butt-ass naked.
That's a common theme.
True. Toilet filled with shit. Underwear thrown across the room, soaked to all hell. In front of me, toilet, you know, bathroom, standard toilet rug, covered in puke. And I just go, what the fuck you... Huh? So I walk out of the bathroom, butt-ass naked, go into the next room next to me, don't even make it to a bed, fall on the floor and wrap myself in a bearskin rug and pass out for a few more hours until we wake up and we're like, oh, we got to check out. Oh, my God, what did you do? And for that ride home, that was like a good 6-hour ride home at least. Mm-hmm. Like, I felt like shit, but I felt like worse on rides home from bachelor parties. Where I think I was in I think I hit that like event horizon of like drunkitude where it's either you just hit a level where you're not dead or you just die from alcohol poisoning. I think that's where I was at that point.
It's amazing how many bachelor parties like you do end up so fucked up where to the point where how many times have like the next day we'll have something planned and you can't even operate for half the like when we were in Florida.
And yeah, that's
out
one.
Of bed.
You went to the beaches. I stayed in the room and puked all day. Yep.
Yeah.
Or the one time we had a trip to Vermont and I fucking spent. Oh, actually, I had food poisoning too from the goddamn Connecticut pizza where I shit 13 times that day. Set a personal record where I was just puking and shitting that whole day. And I didn't go on a ski trip with everyone. Or the one of the other bachelor parties where I just stayed in and fucking puked. Yeah, it's happened a few times.
Like I said, it's you might be allergic to alcohol, Jim. I don't know.
Well, I'm in the right business for a fucking website.
Yeah, it's like I said, people who get drunk will understand. I think the worst for me, like I said, I'll always go liquor. The easiest, and I say that lightly, probably beer. Because with beer, I get my stomach feels like shit. I feel like my whole body feels out of whack. But I don't get quite as bad of a headache. Like, I never feel quite as dehydrated. And that's probably because there's a lot more water in beer. So, that's my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, so
Jim,
I'll say wine's the worst.
How do you think this Cocalero hangover is going to hit you?
We will see. Actually, I'm going to say right now, I don't think I'm going to be that hungover tomorrow. But, excuse me. Oof, that was gross. But I am feeling it right now. So.
Oh, no. Yeah, I'm
got this much left in the old bottle there. Started here. Now I'm here. Well,
Jim,
this shit is good. All right. Like,
yeah, I'm definitely feeling it. Not full drunk, but I'm definitely buzzed to the point where, like, it would be questionable if I were to take a breathalyzer. I think I know I'm going to go upstairs, have a bunch of water, probably have a snack or two. And tomorrow I may have the slightest headache. But it's not going to be, I'm not going to, like, be able to not operate tomorrow.
Well, at least you work from home.
Hey, Jim, you know the commute from my upstairs to my basement? I got the dogs, the traffic. Like, come on.
You flip your chair over and shove up your ass, you piece of shit.
Jim, what?
I have to get up at 5:30, drop my kid off at daycare, fucking go to work. God
Whose fault is that?
Me, because I didn't apply myself in college.
So we want to hear from all of you. What's the worst hangover you ever had? Which do you think is the worst? And for God's sake, as Jim said earlier, thank you so much, Cocalero, for sending us this. And
for sure.
What's our contact again?
For Megan at the PR firm they work at. And also, so Cocalero, $30 for the bottle, but you also get shipped one of these cool shot glasses too. So you get a little more bang for your buck there too. And I can tell you from fucking experience, this is some good goddamn shit.
We'll add the links below, their website and everything, and that's a cool case we have. So that they sent us is.
Yeah, actually, what do you call it? I'm working on a video of like other random stuff that's been sent to the show. That just like you know, game swag kind of stuff. Huh?
Like the wooden penis?
No, I won that from trivia, Brian. That does not count. So yeah, like very cool box here, like with all the Resident Evil stuff and all that crap around there. You see all the glare here. It'll be better in the video I eventually do. But yeah, like the presentation's top notch. We got 2 cool shirts, 2 cool shot glasses. I mean, pretty awesome. Yeah. So thank you so much.
But no, this is a liqueur that I would personally, as the one who drinks more cocktails, I could see myself getting this. And if I'm not really in the mood for something as heavy as bourbon or whiskey, and I want a little more flavor, like you said, with Sprite, it goes down way too easy.
Fucking way
yeah. Too easy with the I could have seen this. Thank God we're not younger, because we drank a lot of terrible liquors. This was good shit. I could have seen us pre-gaming with this, and then we're puking up bright green because we drank so much of it. So,
what, the old days with the Fireball and Kraken?
Fireball, Kraken, 99 Bananas, Jaeger, like Socos, all of it, all the shit. The 99
so
Bananas.
So many things I can't drink anymore. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you once again, and guys, like we said, if you have watched a song, please, please, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell so you get the notification so you know when we upload new videos. If you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, if you haven't already, subscribing would help us significantly. And if you give us a 5-star rating, we will review any comments you write, so please be sure to do that. Once again, check out this Cocalero. It's delicious. And with that,
once again, not just saying it because it was sent to us. If you've seen some of our some of our more recent videos, and if something that's been sent to the page, you'll know
Stuff
what,
has been sent to us, and
we're not gonna give everything an immediate. Hey, you should buy this. So if we say you should buy this, we mean it.
and there may have been things sent to us that we never fully reviewed because we didn't want to bash. I'll say
Things
that
happen.
too. Yeah.
Things happen.
So with that, we want to say thank you so much, everyone. Have a good night, and cheers.
Cheers, everyone.